Hello, hi. Welcome to our Kubernetes series. In this video, let us discuss about config maps. We'll be seeing the problem. Let's say if we go with hard coding the configuration information, what exactly the problems may arise, and we'll be seeing what is config map. And there are certain storage ways the config map offers and use cases basically, and how exactly the config map works. And also we will be seeing top 3 ways to use the config map in your pod, and also saying why to use a config map, how exactly the same application works in both the development and production with the two different config maps. And also we'll be seeing a complete picture or a quick recap about the discussion. So without further ado, let's enter into the video and have a discussion. First thing, config map is for managing the configuration information within the Kubernetes. So outside of your code, you are managing it in a cluster level, and then you are attaching that and fetching that in the runtime pod. Okay, so this is the how exactly the configuration lives outside the container. It is basically in the cluster etcd database, and then this is how exactly the configuration looks like, and that will be injected into the pod while running the pod application YAML file. In that we are injecting this particular config map. We'll be seeing in detail about it. Now let us understand the problem. Why the hard coding configuration is dangerous. First thing, config hard coded inside the image, let's say some database URLs, API keys, or port numbers, and it is not a proper or inflexible design. Okay, and for each and every configuration change we need to rebuild the container. So let's say if we are updating a single setting like port number, so it forces us to full image we need to rebuild and redeploy. At runtime we cannot insert those configurations, and there might be a different environments that uses the different configurations. Let's say we have dev that uses a local host DB and production that uses a cloud database. So the same image cannot serve the both without any modifications, right? So with the help of config maps you can overcome that. And also it is easy to introduce the errors. So there might be a chances of putting a wrong environment variables which was committed to the code base and pushed into a production. So debugging this also, it is a painful task. And exposing the sensitive information within the image, that means hard coding the credentials inside your docker image, which obviously visible to the users who all pull the image. And the one stop solution for all these problems was using a config which stores your configuration information outside of your application and inserts that at the runtime. So let's say if you wanted to change a configuration, you don't want to go inside a container or inside a code level. You just need to change in that specific config file which was stored in the cluster wide, and then you can reapply. So here is the overall picture, like how exactly the hard-coded configuration looks like and how exactly the config map works. Here is the hard-coded information you are writing in a app.js application. So you are specifying the database URL, port, everything. So let's say if you wanted to change a DB, then you need to again rebuild and redeploy the whole image. So with the help of config map, so it stores the configuration sectionally, and that is going to insert into the pod at runtime automatically, and then the changes are deployed at runtime only. And now let us see what exactly the config map. We just seen the problem and how the config map solves it. Basically, ConfigMap is the one of the Kubernetes object that stores a non-sensitive information. For sensitive information, there is a secrets actually. We will be discussing about the secret in the upcoming video. And here, this config map will store a non-sensitive information that has a key value pairs as well as configuration files, some environment variables. All can be stored at one place, and it is separate for configuration from application code. That means whenever your application image stays at single position or only one, but the configuration you can apply multiple. Okay, like multiple environments that same application can run, and used by the pods and containers. That means it injects as an environment variable and mounted as file. We'll be seeing what are the options to insert that, like mounted as file, mounted as port numbers, URLs, everything will be there. And it also makes the applications more flexible. That means we can deploy the same application container into multiple environments like dev, test, and production. So only the configuration file, whatever we are specifying, that differs. And also it maintains or helps us to maintain a centralized configuration management, so that all the configuration files will live within the Kubernetes object. It is easy to update and also maintain the version control, and auditing purpose also it will become easy. This is the whole picture of a ConfigMap YAML file. So this is the YAML file. While you are specifying this, we are just writing a kind as a config map, and in the metadata we are giving the config map file name, and then in the data we are specifying whatever the data specifications like database URL, log level, port, environment, all we are specifying. So then this config map is applied to this particular pod, and it we just need to restart or recreate the pod, then automatically the configuration will apply. But underlying image will be same in the pod. Okay, so that's what exactly the config map. Now let us see what can a config map store. So there are multiple things config map stores. One is environment variable, application settings, URL and endpoints, config files, port numbers, future flags like dark mode. Those are some toggle features at runtime if you wanted to enable. Obviously you cannot recreate the entire application for this particular toggle purpose, right? So it's just a simple config file application or config file change and redeploy the application. The same image will be used, but with newly applied configurations. Okay, so this is the example. So I mean, popularly used was environment variables, most commonly used. That includes the like this environment. Log level information, debug URL, port numbers. Okay, so it is going to directly injecting this information into the container. Coming to the application settings, so it runs at the runtime application behavior control. Okay, and for endpoints and URLs, that is helps to swap the endpoints per environment basis. And the config files, configuration files, so it is mounted as a file within the pod. And for port numbers, it is flexible for network settings. And for future flags, it is for toggle without redeploying or building the application. Now let us see how the config map works, a step-by-step flow. First thing, user like admin or dev team will create a config file, config map file. So the name will be configmap.yaml. So this is a specific YAML file which was written with a key value configuration data. Then that is going to apply to the cluster with the kubectl apply. Okay, once it is applied, it is going to store the information into the clusters database, which is etcd database. And once it was stored, so it is now available as a named resource within that particular namespace. Then we are going to specify a pod specifications. In that specifications, there is a, again it comes with a YAML specification. In that we are specifying the config map name. By the name we are calling. Why? Because as of now, Kubernetes, within the Kubernetes cluster, the config maps resource is available. Okay, once we apply the same configuration in the pod specifications file also, then we are going to configure the injected, I mean, configure these particular specifications into a container at startup. So once we run this particular pod, okay, automatically the new container or new pod, whatever it is using the image or specifications, everything applies the same pod YAML specifications file, right? So now it is going to mount the configuration file and declare the path, everything. Once it was done, app will read the configurations dynamically. So app will process these configurations, like where exactly the config will get and where exactly that need to store within the container. Okay, based upon like whatever what we can say earlier we have seen, right? Based upon what we are storing, whether it's the environment or some configuration file or URL, port number, whatever it was, everything is stored in the container and it fetches it dynamically. This is the entire flow what we just discussed. User will create a config file, then it was referenced to the pod deployment file. Then at the runtime for containers, it was injected, and we are going to process in this way. And these are the three ways to use the config maps within a pod. First thing was environment variables. Environment-based variables is most commonly used one, and it is also simplest to use them. So in the pod uh, YAML file, you are specifying the environment from, okay, here you are referring the config map reference. So this is the reference name of the config map, which was you given in the config map YAML file. Then the results will be stored within the container in this way. Okay, whatever this particular config map contains, everything comes into the container. So all key values will become the environment variables in this case. Now coming to the second method, which is specific key. That means whenever you are writing a pod YAML file, it picks a specific keys. So here the environment and then name, whatever the key is there, this particular specific key. Okay, in this particular key, this particular whatever key we are referring in the config file, that is stored in this database URL now. So here only it picks the keys that actually required, not the entire like settings or configurations available in the config maps. And the third method was using a mounted files. That means we are going to mount as a file at path. That means whatever you are specifying in the config map, everything is mounted in a container in this particular path. Okay, so it is used for let's say if you wanted to mount entire file, in that case we can go opt for this, and that entire config file is now available in your container, that particular path. Okay, etc config nginx.config, that is the example. Now let us see why to use the config maps. Main reason was it decouples the config from the node, so the application image will stay safe. Only the config map changes between the environment and also it cleans, I mean, it maintains a clean separation and for each and every environment. It is easier for environment management. One config map per specific environment. Let's say we have a dev, one config map for testing, one config map for production, one config map. So obviously that will saves the containers. I mean, that by that we can achieve container can run anywhere, anytime, and it is faster also. So we can update the config map with using a kubectl command, and there is no image rebuild or a long running CI/CD pipelines are required, and it is better for portability point of view also. So many applications that moves to a new cluster. So it is just like a bridging a gap by using a config map. So that app will automatically picks up all settings, and it simplifies the deployment also. There is no specific secrets to manage this config file. I mean, the additional extra scripts are not required to manage this. Everything is configured within that config maps file only. And the key principle what we are going to achieve by using the config maps was building once the application or the container image and configuring many times. So the same Docker image but different configurations per the environment basis. And also it is very much ideal for 12 factor pattern application. A 12 factor is something where there are certain best practices how the production application should be there. By following all those, this config map also suitable in that. And this is the overview of single image and multiple configurations. So Docker LB image is going to build at once, and multiple configurations is applied for dev environment, staging environment, production environment. And now let us quickly cover how exactly uh, same application can run in dev versus the production. Okay, so first thing, as I said, we are going to use a one Docker image, and we can deploy into two environments. One was dev by using a dev configuration, and one was production by using a production configuration. Here, whatever the deployment environment configuration is there uses a local host DB and log level as debug log level, and also a kind of little small memory limits and future flags enabled. And coming to the production configuration file, so it uses a cloud RDB data, RDS database service, and the log level will be info here, and also some high memory limits or for real-time production, some stable features are available in this production configuration file. So here we don't need to rebuild the application or image entirely. Okay, we just need to swap or switch the environments, that's it. So we are swapping that environments by applying this config file. Okay, let's say we have one YAML file, pod specification YAML file. Let's say with that file only we wanted to switch from dev to the production. In that case, we just need to change the config details from dev till the production, and then just restart the pod. That's it. Your application, you can switch over to pods from dev to production, and as a result it is going to achieve a faster deployments, and there is a less chances for errors, and also it offers a full environmental priority, and the same image can run into a production as well as a dev. This is the whole picture what we just discussed. And a quick recap what we just discussed: we primarily focuses on config map. The key takeaways out of this discussion was it stores a non-sensitive information or configuration details, and it separates the config file from code, and the environment variables, keys, file mounts, everything can be taken care by using a config maps. And one image, many maps, many environments can be deployed, that can be achieved by using the config maps. And we can also update the configuration files without rebuilding the entire image or application. So here app is the mission, and config map is the control plane. So we are going to just change the settings, not the entire mission. Okay, so by using this control plane, okay, it is just a config map we are just changing, that's it. Okay, this is the whole view application config map as a result what we are achieving. In the upcoming video we'll be seeing on secrets, how we discussed the overview of config map. For sensitive information, secrets is there, okay, like passwords, tokens, okay, how we are managing within the Kubernetes we'll be seeing in the upcoming video. And I hope so you found some useful information out of this discussion, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much for watching the video, and all the best for your learning.